We have Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline here. Mike, we missed you last week. I brought it up in the segment that you usually would join us. I want to pass along condolences for the passing of your mother. I hope you've been able to grieve in peace, and I hope that you're doing okay. And we appreciate you coming on today. How are you?
Yeah, as the days go by, it gets better. She was my mom for 76 years, and when you wake up one day and realize she's not here anymore, it's kind of tough. But everybody faces that if they live long enough. And I had her for a long, long time. She was 99 years old.
Wow. So you've headed home plenty of times before. Are you talking to us from Fayetteville, or did you head back home as well?
Well, this is home. Lubbock's not my home.
Yeah.
I still have friends out there that think it is, but it's not. I've lived here for 50 years, so, Fayetteville is my home. But no, I'm still here. We haven't decided. My sister is handling all that, and she hasn't yet decided what she's going to do. Because she's got a large family that has to get everybody together, and I do too. So it's kind of a mess trying to coordinate all that.
Well, we're maybe it must have helped maybe to get your mind off of it with if you had a chance to watch the Hogs over the weekend over Texas. So did that at least lift your spirits a little?
Oh, there's nothing like it. It was amazing, and it was such a fun weekend watching those guys, watching Reese Robinette do what he did, 6 RBI in that game. If he breaks out. Everybody's been asking where's he been. Well, he's been there. He's obviously a good infielder. He played third base in a midweek game about a week and a half ago and did well and got an RBI, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but he really took advantage with 6 RBI. They don't win that Saturday game if you take away his 6 RBI, so that was big for him. I kept telling people Davalon's going to break out here. He's going to do something big. He wasn't in a terrible slump. He just wasn't doing what he usually does. And, man, that Titanic home run he hit off Texas' little freshman ace, really, in his .9 ERA, that thing jumped up to about 1.6 with one swing of the bat. So that was fun to watch. Here's the thing about Texas. This stuff like this doesn't affect them, and they've always been that way. They're still number 1 in several polls. It's like it didn't happen. Arkansas is number 7 in several polls, or at least 2 that I saw. So, and that was the thing when I was a kid. They lose a game and act like they didn't lose. It's like, never seen a program have the media in its back pocket the way they do. I used to tell people, if Texas in football, you could go down and look at the polls, and if you looked at teams with 1 loss, Texas would always be the highest-ranked team with 1 loss. Teams with 2 losses, Texas would be the highest-ranked team. All the way down 3, 4, it didn't matter. So it's a lot of fun to beat them. But if you're around them, especially around their fans, but their players too, they don't acknowledge defeat. They just act like, well, it didn't happen. We're okay.
Hey, Mike, who do you have, like if you were to say your top 4 teams right now in college baseball, who would they be?
Well, I'd still probably have Texas up there. I'd have Arkansas number 2. I can't believe some of these polls. They are the most balanced team in college baseball if you consider pitching, hitting, and defense. And, LSU is up there. Arkansas is going to get a chance to go play them now. I think they're number 2 in one of the polls. I'd probably have them up there. I don't pay much attention to the other conferences, so I'd probably go ahead and put Tennessee, even though they're dropping right now. I do think, from a practical standpoint, you have to hope that the selection committee doesn't look at this the way some of these pollsters do. Because what I'm looking at is trying to make sure Arkansas ends up, a top 8 national seed, because that makes a huge difference. And they might lose 2 or 3 at LSU, but I think they're gonna win this series with Tennessee, and they should be a national seed. But who knows how these guys they're gonna select this thing.
Mike, I mean, I've had so many fans even say that they feel that they wanted Arkansas to go on the road for the postseason just because of the last 2 years, and I don't think that has anything to do with this year's team. That's just the effect on some people's mindset because of what they lived through. Hardly any of the guys on this team lived through that last year or the year before. It's a completely different team, and quite honestly, it's a better team. They're going to play at home now. I mean, they just swept. They put it in these terms: unless they go 0-6. Unless they get completely, wiped out in these next 2 weekends, they're going to play at home. And I think they're competing for an SEC championship. I feel like they've at least accomplished playing at home in the first weekend. 1 or 2 wins these next couple weeks is going to keep you at home in a super regional, potentially 2. And I'll tell you what, if people are worried about the pressure of a regional at home, I thought that they faced enough pressure playing at home in front of packed houses against a number 1 Texas team. I think they'll be just fine.
Well, and if you look at some of the things that happened, I mean, it looks like the batting is all back again. You had all 3 games they hit the baseball. You didn't have one of those games where they scored 2 runs or 3 runs early and then got shut out the rest of the game. They were hitting and scoring runs, pretty much throughout all of those games. But the pitching is intriguing to me because if Root can do what he did in that game, that changes everything. He goes more innings. And then if Gage Wood, if they can step him up to 6 innings instead of 4, that changes what happens because what you got to look at is the game 3. I thought that they had decided that Vital Shees was not going to start, and then he did. Maybe you let him pitch 2 innings. He can usually go 2 innings. But there's some other things out there, some other options that are out there. And Dylan Carter pitching as well as he did. I really thought, I don't know. I keep hearing that Hunter Dietz is ready. He's available. I mean, this guy's he's a tremendous talent, so it'd be good to get him back. Parker Coyle, I hear stuff about him. Parker Coyle may be back. It could be that as we get to the end of the regular season going into postseason, that Arkansas's pitching staff gets a lot deeper and better. And if the hitting's back, guys, they can win it all. This is one of the most talented Razorback baseball teams I've ever seen. I've covered this program for 50 years. The 85 team was here. And Grant Hall was sitting with those guys, and he said Doug Clark, who was assistant coach on that team, told him that a Miami assistant told him that's still the best team he's ever seen, even though they didn't win the College World Series. 14 of those guys were drafted. So you can look at teams that are maybe better than others, but I think this talent-wise is one of Dave Van Horn's best teams. It's one of the best I've ever seen. That doesn't guarantee you're going all the way, but I think they've got the ability to do that.
Hey, Mike, want to get your thoughts and your words on the passing of Harold Horton.
Yeah, he was such a great guy, and he told me a lot of stuff in confidence that I never used because he trusted me. But believe me, he knew where all the bodies were buried up there running the foundation and knowing Frank as well as he was. But he was such a nice guy, and I could always go to him when I needed an explanation. What's going on here? What's happening there? What's going on over there? Why did this happen? And he would explain it, and so then you could figure things out. But he was just such a super guy to be around. I'll tell you what he was. He knew the Arkansas fan base as well as any one single person I've ever known. And that includes Frank. That includes Houston Nutt. All 3 of those guys really understood Razorback fans, but Harold doesn't get credit for that enough. That guy could go to any Razorback club meeting. He could sit up there at the foundation and talk to donors, and he flat knew how to relate to the average Arkansas fan. And it's just a great loss. And, his son Tim's a great guy, great coach. I always thought he would end up back here. It didn't happen, but I like that whole family.
I like how you put that, with the ability to relate to the average fan. And I know that there are a lot of people across the state who view themselves as exactly that feel like maybe that college sports isn't what it used to be, and it's a little difficult to stay as intensely interested in it as they might have been for a long time, and I think there's still people that are able to connect to people all across the state from the athletics department. It's just maybe not quite at the same level as Coach Horton. Is that fair to say, Mike?
Yeah, I think there's an issue right now. I'm not going to say it's a huge issue, but with NIL and some of the hard decisions that Hunter Yurchek's had to make about, season tickets and things that he's had to do, there's a lot of anger out there right now, and it's misplaced, I think. I think a lot of people don't understand the pressure he's under to try and get this athletic budget up where they can compete when revenue sharing kicks in, and now it looks like they're going to move NIL into the athletic departments too. So all of that, when it's regulated, will help, but you still got to have the money to fund it fully. And so he's had to do that, and there's a lot of angry people out there, and I do feel like there are not enough people right now that somebody can pick up the phone and call them, and somebody talks to him. Rick Schaefer, guys, used to do that all day long up there. He was a sports information director, but fans would call him. I'd go in his office. He'd be on the phone with some guy for 20 minutes, just making him feel better. Harold Horton could do that. There are guys, and I there's some people up there that can still do that, but they just need more of them. You need to be able to relate. The people up here kind of know what's going on, but you get down into central Arkansas, eastern Arkansas, southern Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, those people aren't as connected, and you need a way to relate to them and make them understand, here's what's going on with the athletic department, and this is how we're handling this problem, and everything's going to be fine. You need PR people, bad.
It's time to head to the track as the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, is here. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for all your Kentucky Derby info and sports betting action. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA and NHL playoffs to the MLB and UFC and boxing, BetOnline has you covered for all your online wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.